Do you think that there's like a lack of trust because of the reasons that you've said? Because it's like, well, what is the fitness sector? Oh, well, it's a retail business that give people six packs and that type of thing, as opposed to it really understanding that it's more about health and wellness. Do you think that is, and with you guys now, is there a high level of trust in terms of what people like yourself and UK Active, and I know there's a number of others out there, that the government really take you seriously and trust you? Or is it like a bit of okay, those guys, they're the fitness and sport people?
Yeah. Let's cheer this podcast up a little bit, because I've just been a little bit critical of the whole world. It genuinely is, Matthew. I've seen such a change in the last 2 years of organisations sitting up and listening, government departments sitting up and listening. A significant shift, and we just need to keep on with that momentum. So let me give you an example of some of the work we're doing. And this isn't just showcasing CIMSPA, this is working. This is genuinely working. So I think one of the challenges we may have had as a sector is we've fed into government and other organisations that need to listen to us pretty big figures, without enough narrative and story. Do you know what I mean? So we talk about £13 billion a year GVA. Is that big? Is that good? Is that significant? Is that anything like retail? I don't know. And social values, 20 million, and it's £4 a head. Is that, if you speak to a politician, Matthew, I don't know many, hopefully, and say, hey, how does that grab you? I don't think many of them can explain what social value is. So I'm not sure we're telling the story, but if we convert that and we know how we break it down and we know how we got there, in your constituency, member for parliament, that means 1,500 people who are pre-diabetic not becoming diabetic a year. And that costs, if they were to become diabetic, £100,000 or £100 million, whatever it is. 5,000 more children more active in your ward will mean 5,000 children arriving at school who are not obese, who have an active lifestyle, who develop active habits, who in the future, where we're going to see 9 times as many people clogging up the system, probably should be 6 times. And so it goes on. So what we've decided, and lots of organisations are doing this, I'm pleased to say, and government are recognising this too, Matthew, is place-based is more powerful than anything else. Because so we're going place-based. So instead of trying to do everything universally, we're going into each county and working with the local authority, the local health trust, the local education providers, and local health and fitness employers. We're understanding from the local authority, what are your priorities? You know, some of them are fixing the potholes in the road. Some of them is, increasing transport services or whatever. But all of them have got health priorities. So it differs from one end of the country to another. In Birmingham, for example, there's a higher propensity for diabetes in men. In certain other wards, there's slips, trips and falls everywhere. Mental health is the mental health budget's creaking. So it's diabetes, falls prevention, cancer prehab, cardiac rehab, blah, 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 right? Stroke. They're the biggest cost, they're the biggest priorities. We get people in a room who knew collaboration works. And then the local providers, the employers, whether it's local authority or private, say, hey, did you know that we ran cancer prehab classes? Health Trust says, no. This is fantastic news. What does that do? Well, it reduces 8 bed days per cancer patient post-op. And the trust is saying, this is fantastic evidence. This will save us a fortune, which means that we can, right? So then you get this chain reaction. And then we say, okay, well, if we were to do more of that, what other skills would you like to see? Well, we'd like to see. So CIMSPA then facilitates and says we need this many occupations with these new types of skills. we go to the local college and say, can you provide them? Because what you're providing is okay, but it's not really making people work ready. If you provide this curricula, not only is the person going to get a job at the end of it straight away, but they're going to get a job that's going to make a difference to that place and that community that's measurable and impactful. That college gets funded fully by government because the Post-16 Skills Act says that all post-16 college, the Adult Education Act talks about employer-led curriculum as opposed to we're just putting out a sports course. And that they have to show evidence that there's a local employer need for it. So this is place-based too. Now, inject all of that into a place, Matthew, and then write that evidence down. How much richer is that local impact, local value, local social, economic, tackling inequalities, tackling health inequalities, build a community that's more active, etc., etc. That's powerful data. That's extraordinary data. Now, and so if we've been tackling it into central government and they're not hearing it, and they point it straight back out to that's a local authority issue, why not go straight to the local authority then?
And do they listen when you with those types of arguments? So they are okay. That's good.
We've been doing it a year, and listen, thanks to Sport England because they've invested in this. They've invested £2.5 million so that we can build a team and an infrastructure that goes out and facilitates and supports it. So we've got a person in each area that brings all of these agencies together. And I actually thought it might be knocking heads together, but it's not. It's very collaborative, and there's very much in listening and support mode. And then each one of those areas has what was called a local skills improvement plan and a local skills advisory board, and it's unique to that place. So, we're sourcing learners that are representative of the community that they live in, which is fantastic for equality and diversity. It's more conducive because people are more associated with that place. The priorities are very, very specific. So the impact is quicker and more measurable, and the data therefore richer. So there's not much not to love about this ecosystem, and it is working, and it's been very, very welcome. So we've set up in about 23 already, and we were kind of looking at doing about half that, but the demand for it is overwhelming. Local Government Association have got it, District Council Network have got it, ICTs, Integrated Care Trusts, are now sort of sharing with each other. This is a good thing. Government are sort of, ensuring that the education part of it is funded. So yeah, those mini ecosystems, we become some of our parts, and then I think we'll get heard. I really do.